Hello, this is Christopher MG from the Greater Bloomington Chamber of Commerce's Success School. We're doing another career interview. We have Michael from the city. Hello, Michael. You want to give us your name and title?
Yeah, hi. My name is Michael Shermis, and I am the Special Projects Coordinator for the City of Bloomington at the Community and Family Resources Department.
Well, before we get to the ARC, what does that title entail?
For my particular portfolio of organizations or groups that I help support, I work with the Council for Community Accessibility, the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Birthday Celebration Commission, the Nonprofit Alliance, and the Monroe County Domestic Violence Coalition. I also do some other things, but those are the primary areas that I focus on. And you can pretty much imagine as a special projects, meaning I do all sorts of special projects, run them, help organize them. And I manage a lot of events for all of those different organizations as well, like the King Day event, big celebration, as well as like the service projects that we do. I do training events for various organizations as well, run conferences, things like that.
So I'm just to make our audience clear, you are a government worker working in a municipal department. Give us a little sense of what that department is and what their sort of mission is and why they came about.
Yeah, so Community and Family Resources Department, broader mission is to serve the community and offer different kinds of resources. They're not a direct referral organization. And so we help a lot of different marginalized communities. So we have the Hispanic and Latino Commission on there. There's a Council for Aging. There's a Council on the Status of Women, Council on the Status of Black Males, Council for Children and Youth. There's also the Bloomington Volunteer Network is housed out of there, the Safe and Civil City program. So we do all those different kind of variety of different areas and serve the community in lots of different ways. We produce, different resources. We help set up helpingbloomingtonmonroe.org, things like that.
So give our audience a sort of sense of how you ended up, doing special projects with the city on family services and working with nonprofits.
So for nonprofits, we help support the Nonprofit Alliance, which is co-sponsored by the City of Bloomington, the United Way, and the Community Foundation. And we have a couple events every year, Meet the Media and Meet the Funders, which I help organize and run and get the players involved in that. Great events for nonprofits to be involved with, to find potential sources of funding and to connect directly with the media and tell their stories. We also produce a monthly newsletter that comes out at the start of the month, in the middle of the month, to inform people what kind of jobs are available, what kind of trainings are available, what kind of events that are relevant to nonprofits. Then I also do the nonprofit board training that's co-sponsored by the Bloomington Volunteer Network and the Nonprofit Alliance, which is all about providing board members with opportunities to learn how to be a better board member, essentially. So those are the main things we do.
I know what do nonprofit boards do? What is that? Like United Way has a board. Give us some of what that entails, sort of board responsibilities for people who don't, because it might be new to them.
Yeah, so boards guide organizations, and they do so by helping set policy. They do so by hiring an executive director and, on a rare occasion, firing one. They help support the different events. They offer different resources. They're offering governance kind of things, so they can do personnel things. They can help run the retreats for their organizations, for their boards. They try to support staff. They monitor finances. They obviously help in development and raising funds. So they can do a variety of different things depending on the board.
So what piqued your interest? What had you go into this line of work?
Yeah, I love that question. So, well, I have no idea why, but one day I thought, I think I would be somebody who would enjoy board work, and I called up the United Way and said, I think I would be a good board member, and they kind of laughed at me and got me involved with some allocations panels back then when that's helping decide the money for United Way. But soon I ended up being on the board, and what happened is every board member was required to serve on another board of one of their agencies that they supported. And so I would go to you're supposed to go once a quarter, but I went to every meeting because I just was like, it felt weird coming so infrequently. And for some reason, if you come every meeting, after a while, they're like, you're the United Way guy, tell us how to do your bylaws, or how does United Way do this? And so you start answering questions in a way that certainly seems like you're viewed with some kind of authority. And so over time, I got pretty good at being able to help and support boards. And I had, at the time, the support of my boss from the vice president for research at the Indiana University. And so for a while, I kind of looked at outsiders that I was almost working for United Way because I was doing so much and helping them so much. And then eventually, when I went out into the private business world and became a story developer for a company, that when I left that company after 10 years, I kind of turned that around and said, I'm going to help nonprofits tell their story. And not a marketing story as much as a story of what their future is and how they can become better, work together better, how they can raise more funds, how they can create more community awareness and more connections and things like that. And so that's how I got into it. I've always had the ability to sell things, and I've always felt kind of guilty about that. But I never feel guilty about selling a nonprofit. They do really good work for this community. And there's a lot of things that they do in terms of health and the arts and social services and the environment and all sorts of things for people homeless and everything like that just make me feel really good that we are generating more community support to help those causes and create a good safety net and create beauty in our community and keep us all healthy and things like that. And so that's why I've kind of enjoyed being in that area. Yeah.
So the rewards are, we can kind of see how those rewards and what your enjoyment is of this. What are some of the challenges you have, both putting on some of these, in your role with the city, putting on some of these events, and then the other is working with sort of nonprofits. What challenges, what are difficult times, difficult days for you, Michael?
Yeah, well, the biggest challenge for nonprofits is just raising funds. I mean, that is always the main thing that they'll come to me about is like, yeah, we're just having trouble with funding. But a lot of times the problems run deeper, and it's not just about money. It's about a good governance and learning how to communicate better and things like that. And so that's what I focus on when I do that. For events, it's at the city, it is primarily the challenge is just getting people involved and connected, and wanting to know more and learn more and connect with people who share their interests. And so it's just a matter of getting a lot of people to attend and letting people know that what we're doing is really important, whether it's celebrating diversity, whether it's creating awareness for domestic violence, whether it is showing people that the city needs to be more accessible so that people in wheelchairs and blind and others have more access to different facilities and buildings like that. So it's just kind of like a lot of times it's just creating awareness.
Within the sort of the nonprofit world and some of the work you've done with the city, what's changed in the last 10 years? I don't know how long ago that United Way, that first initial United Way board experience happened, but what's kind of evolved in the world of nonprofits in the last decade?
Yeah, I've been off the United Way board for probably almost 20 years now. It was in the 90s, more than 20 years. Yeah, I'm not sure how much has changed in a significant way. They still have the same darn challenges of trying to raise more money and trying to have good governance. On the other hand, obviously, and you can see this far away, COVID has brought lots of challenges. So the pandemic has made it even tougher on nonprofits. A great example, and this was in the news this morning, and it's something that I knew about because I've been talking more directly with it. Girls Inc., which is an organization that has just done a wonderful job. I've been involved with them in some way or another for the last 25 years. Great organization, does really think, well, they found that they could not survive. Now, they were looking at a different model and trying to survive before the pandemic. And then the pandemic hit and it really went bad. But they are now saying, you know what? We are not a bricks and mortar kind of thing. We're not going to have a building. We are going to try to work directly in the schools and have our programming be right inside the schools. And so that's an entirely different model. They had to turn it around and figure out what to do. And they're out there now trying to talk to people and figure out how can they get people in the community to support this. So it's trying to learn how to do it in an entirely different way. So there are those kind of challenges that people are experiencing, obviously.
For students interested in getting into nonprofit work, whether that's direct service or administrative, what sort of advice or characteristics do you think that would help them out if they're choosing this path? Because it's an interesting, unique path, but not for everyone.
Yeah, no, I think it's a really fulfilling and rewarding path. I work with a fair amount of students at the O'Neill School at IU, and their focus, and that's the School of Public Environmental Affairs, and their focus has always been a lot on the people who go in that field, nonprofits. And I frequently sit down with them because, being a nonprofit consultant on the side, that many of them want to know that world and understand that world better. And what could they do to be a nonprofit consultant, or what do they need to do to get more involved or connected to nonprofits? And my first thing is, get on a board, serve on a board, even if it's just for a couple years and it can't be a longer term. You will learn so much. If you can't serve on a board, serve on one of their committees. They all have committees that can do different things, and find one that suits you better. If you're more into organizing and making sure things run well and communicating, do governance. If you like events and you like being involved and connecting to people, do development, fundraising kind of things. And if you're really good at money, then finance is your area. But there's always some ways. And even if you can't do board work or committee work, you can always volunteer. So get out there and volunteer in some of the organizations. Go to the community kitchen and help in serving meals, or do a cleanup day for one of the organizations that needs that kind of thing. If you like animals, go to PALS and help out there, or work at Pets Alive in the spay and neuter clinic. There's just so many different things that you can do to really make a big difference and connect in. And once you do it, you can't believe how rewarding and fulfilling it is. The more people I get involved with doing that kind of thing, the more thank yous I get for saying, thanks for getting me involved in this. This was really an enjoyable and rewarding experience.
Finally, Michael, anything with your work in special projects with the city that we have not talked about that we want to make sure that our students and whatever, whether they're 8th grade or 12th grade, might want to know about your role or anything?
Yeah, well, I didn't talk too much about the Monroe County Domestic Violence Coalition. We have a monthly meeting. We bring in a speaker for the right people in the community to hear. So this is a coalition that's made up of the prosecutor, the probation, the judge, the courts. It's got the Department of Child Services, DCS, Centerstone, and of course, Middle Way House, and numerous other organizations that are tangentially involved with that. And there are several. So we have like a regular attendance of about 15 people to these 15 organizations to these monthly meetings. And a speaker comes in and we get to learn something from it. We also produce a stats book every year that says these are the statistics, and this is what you should know about what a problem domestic violence is. And let's make it clear, it is a problem in our community as it is in most. And so let's understand what's involved with it and know what the numbers are and make sure that people are connecting and talking about it. And we also do a spring conference every other year. Of course, the last one got canceled due to the pandemic, so there will be one this spring that we're going to be doing, and probably, of course, all on Zoom, I suspect. But we're getting the word out about that, and that's another one of my areas that I kind of focus on too. Yeah, that's another one.
All right, Michael. Hey, thank you for taking the time today, telling us about nonprofit work and then working with our city government, making this community as great as it can be. We appreciate your time, and everybody else, take care, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thanks.